Mountain Home may get a breeze during the day tomorrow, and the temperatures may come up, but still likely staying below freezing and only 20 in Boise. So it'll be hazy, very similar coming up during the day tomorrow. But the problem is there's precipitation headed in our direction, and it is likely to form in the fall in the form of snow and freezing rain. Today, 19 degrees, supposed to be 38, 3 below zero early this morning. It has certainly been frigid. Low temperatures below zero, high temperatures just like they have been the past few days. And tomorrow we may touch 20. Snow, I think, is going to come in and cause an issue for Wednesday night and the Thursday morning commute. I'll talk more about that in my extended forecast coming up.
Did you notice he said it may get to 20 tomorrow? Like cross our fingers,
we're all hoping
right?
for that.
I'll throw in the flag if it doesn't.
Okay, sounds good.
Well, as Scott mentioned, of course, it's been so cold that the Snake River has frozen.
Yeah, and if temperatures in the valley warm up too quickly, it could mean trouble in the floodplain right near Weezer. So the Snake River doesn't freeze that often, but when it does, look at that, that's all ice. It definitely gets people's attention. In Weezer at the Oregon border, the river is actually reduced to that, a virtual creek. What's scary is what could happen if it thaws fast. Flooding would be unavoidable if ice jams start clogging up the river.
It's very scary because it is building up, and the river's already up to almost to the top of the bank in some spots here.
Now, people in the Weezer area are used to seeing that flooding. It's usually because of spring runoff, though. The Payette River, that's also frozen. Here's what it looks like right near Payette. And at Central Park on the Snake River, the powerful ice froze and then bent the dock just like a paperclip.
Wow. Well, we received several emails to the Fox 9 On Your Side inbox from viewers complaining about frozen pipes inside their homes because of all these frigid temperatures. And reporter Eric Fink is on your side tonight, joining us with more on how to keep your pipes from busting this winter.
Yeah, Roland, I talked to a gentleman today who repairs water-damaged homes for a living. He says this winter so far is a blessing for business, but this season's more like a curse for one Meridian couple. Charlie Russell and Ashley McAdon live in this Meridian townhouse, a home with frozen pipes like these. And for the last several weeks, because of this cold weather nuisance, their tub isn't draining properly.
Not being able to bathe or have, take a shower or anything is really not not anyone's idea of fun, especially being 38 weeks pregnant. It's, to not be able to go soak in the tub after a long day or anything makes things a lot harder.
We've definitely been getting hammered with water damages. I don't know if we've ever had this many jobs in the last, couple weeks here.
Nate Morris owns Resto Clean. He says normally this time of year he and his crew get several calls a week, but this winter they're averaging more than 30. Nate says one of the easiest ways to keep pipes from busting in this cold.
If you're leaving your house, don't turn down your heat. Keep your heat at least 70 degrees. I know a lot of people leave and turn it down to 50 degrees, but this time of year, those exterior walls with pipes in them, they freeze real easy.
Other tips include keep those garage doors closed. Make sure all windows are tightly shut. Make sure crawl space vents are closed. And keep cabinet doors open. Good advice for this expectant mother who worries these frozen pipes could lead to a flood in the near future.
I'm going to be bringing a baby home soon. I mean, that's the last thing I need to do one day is to come downstairs to make him a bottle and have my kitchen completely ruined.
And Nate Morris tells me while his business is booming these last few weeks, it comes at a small price. His equipment sometimes freezing over in this weather. Live tonight, Eric Fink, Fox 9 on your side.
Well, a Meridian school actually had to shut down in the middle of the day today due to a gas leak. The school turned off the gas lines, and of course that meant turning off the heat. So administrators evacuated all the students to the auditorium while they waited for their parents or the bus.
We have such extreme temperatures, we cannot hold school safely without heat, and so the decision was made to go ahead and send students home for the day.
Classes, though, will be back in session tomorrow morning. Well, you may think there's nothing better on an icy night than a roaring fire. But right now, thanks to, of course, the bad air quality, it's illegal in most of the Treasure Valley.
That's right. And just as important, it is a huge waste of money. Tonight, we're on your side to save you some cash by keeping that damper closed.
The roaring fire. Sit up close and you can feel the heat. But in sub-freezing temperatures,
a standard open fireplace, virtually all of the heat goes up the flue. It's also drawing heated air, that is air that a person has already heated with their furnace. It's drawing that air out of the home as well.
Fireplaces create a vacuum in your home that brings cold air in through the cracks. So the colder it is outside, the harder your furnace must work just to compensate for all that incoming cold air.
Because the fire is there in the fireplace, you don't get that sense of a cold draft, but air is moving out through that flue and out the chimney.
Also, the DEQ says burning wood for residential heating is against the law right now in the valley.
We are currently in the orange, which is the unhealthy for sensitive groups. We've been there for approximately 4 days in a row now. This will be our 5th if everything holds up. So you got a soup right now. It's kind of gross.
Car emissions may be the biggest pollutant during our extended inversion, but wood particulate is gaining ground.
Significantly more burning within those wood stoves, obviously now because it's cold. Probably a top 3. I mean, if you're going to break it down, it'd probably be within the top 3 of contributors right now. Still at the mercy of the inversion.
Still at the mercy of the inversion. Yes. Now, if you have no other source of heat, of course, you can get an exemption. Otherwise, your cheapest and warmest option really is to forget the fireplace and rely on your furnace.
I hadn't really thought about all that, although I have a gas fireplace, so what about those?
Well, so many people have them, don't they? There's a reason for that. They're just fine right now with the inversion, and in fact, a lot of them are almost as efficient as your normal furnace in your house in creating heat because they're made to heat up and then blow air against that heated metal to heat up your home, and that stuff works just fine.
Good to know.
Well, the Canyon County Animal Shelter says it will likely be next week before their broken down boiler is back up and running. No boiler means no heat at the shelter. Industrial propane heaters are in place right now to help warm things up, especially in the dog area. But the shelter is asking for donations of old blankets.
It is day 2 of the trial of a Boise pastor imprisoned in Iran for his Christian faith. The judge reportedly kicked Pastor Saeed Abedini and his lawyer out of the courtroom today, telling them that yesterday was the only day they were allowed to present their case. Jennifer Ah talked to Abedini's wife as she reveals how trying this ordeal has been for her and her family.
Naghmeh Abedini says the Iranian government broke countless promises and agreements. Iranian police first arrested Pastor Saeed Abedini in 2009 for spreading Christianity. But the Iranian government agreed to let him go on the condition that he cut all ties with the house church movement.
As long as he held his part of the deal, the government was going to allow him to travel back and forth to Iran and do humanitarian efforts.
Naghmeh says she was blindsided by her husband's current arrest.
If he was even alive, who took him.
It must have been so tough for you to hear that and hear how he was taken.
Yes, we had no idea it was coming our way. We were thinking he's going to answer some questions. He was there for the orphanage, and then he'd be home.
But Pastor Saeed did not come home.
That week was one of the hardest weeks of my life.
Now it's been more than 6 months and her husband is still behind bars in Iran. Naghmeh says it's been difficult talking to her children about their father's ordeal.
My 6-year-old is more vocal, she's more emotional, she'll cry. But my son is more, he's drawn pictures of people crying, and I'll say, what is that? And he'll say, oh, they're missing their daddy.
Legal experts say the Iranian government is still abusing Saeed Abedini.
He was being beaten by some of his cellmates and by some of the guards inside Evin prison, those that were torturing him, those that were throwing chairs at him, kicking him, bruising him.
But Naghmeh continues to hope for the best, looking forward to the day she'll see her husband again.
Your first words to him?
I'm proud of you.
Jennifer Ah, Fox 9 on your side.
Legal experts say the promise this trial would end by next week turned out to be a lie. Their sources in Iran says the judge plans on hearing more testimony against Abedini next month.
Boise police are looking for a man who robbed a Wells Fargo bank. It happened shortly after 11:30 near 5 Mile and Ustick Roads. Witnesses described the man as having long, straggly gray hair and a gray beard. He wore a gray jacket and green hoodie, camo trousers, and carried a red canvas bag. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at 343-COPS.
40 years ago today, our nation's highest court ruled on Roe versus Wade, the landmark decision regarding a woman's right to abortion. Today, our Matt King asked a lawyer and a scientist to look back.
Yeah, Michelle, you start talking to people about Roe versus Wade and you stir up a lot of passionate feelings stemming from a lot of different places. Religion, government, law, morality, science, and probably a lot more.
Well, this ranks right up there with some of the most important decisions of the 20th century.
Legally, Roe v. Wade provided the Supreme Court justices with a unique conundrum.
There was no real constitutional precedent for finding a liberty or a right.
Constitutional attorney John Rumpf says many legal historians now view the ruling as somewhat of a surprise.
The dissents were very strong.
Laws banning abortion existed well before this country even enacted the 14th Amendment the Supreme Court used in its ruling. Textbooks in U.S. history classes across the nation now teach the holding, but most avoid how close it came to being overruled. In 1992, Justice Kennedy initially sided with the more conservative justices to annul Roe v. Wade, but then changed his mind, writing,
"At the heart of liberty is the right to define one's own concept of existence, of the meaning of the universe, and of the mystery of life."
Abortion is completely a private matter.
So I don't think that there's any real possibility now that Roe v. Wade will be ever overruled.
I think it's never going back.
Jennifer Chase researches fetal alcohol syndrome and teaches human biology at Northwest Nazarene University, a Christian school.
Probably the worst thing that I have to do is during human biology class, we talk about partial birth abortion versus the regular abortion.
40 years after a decision Rumpf compared in importance to Brown versus the Board of Education, Chase sees room for the conversation to continue.
I think the whole thing is fresh in that life beginning is still a new question of how can we create it to happen.
A dialogue made possible by a landmark, positive for some, negative for others, in the realms of liberty and law, society, and science.
If you will, an example of the Supreme Court of the United States creating law.
People should know what it is that we're even talking about. I mean, it's not just an abstract word. There's an actual process that takes place, and I think it behooves us to kind of know what it is that we're voting or fighting about even.
Chase talked a lot about embryo adoption and babies now being viable at as young as 22 weeks as possible next frontiers in this debate. Live in studio, Matt King, Fox 9 on your side.
Coming up next on Fox 9 on your side tonight, shots ring out on a Texas college campus, leaving 4 people injured.
And still ahead, his final inauguration in the books. Now it's time to hit the ground running in term 2, but the president is already hitting roadblocks and some of the goals he just laid out.
Roland Ferris, Michelle Edmonds, Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval, Sports with Paul Gerke. This is Fox 9 on your side at 9.
Weather is brought to you by Steve's Hometown Toyota. Try Steve's Hometown Toyota in Ontario.
Fox Wednesday. Hit it. Witness the amazing talent.
I'm obsessed with you. I want to skin you and wear you.
Feel the overwhelming excitement. And see the reasons why.
Why are we like picking her apart? I'm trying to help her.
Idol's new season may be the most entertaining yet.
It's actually a yes from me.
American Idol, all new this Wednesday and Thursday on Fox.
As you can see, the bay windows provide beautiful morning light.
Mind if we take a seat, get a feel for it?
Please make yourselves at home.
Grab a seat, everyone.
Did you have the right left?
Nope, I had the usual.
There's stainless appliances.
Beef up breakfast with McDonald's new steak and egg burrito, filled with peppers, onions, fluffy eggs, and tender steak. Now get 2 for $3. That's more sizzle to love.
Really? You guys started without me again?
Your vehicle has 4 wheels, doesn't it? Well, why not use all of them? That's Toyota. No brand offers more models with available all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. And during Toyota's all-wheel drive event, get our best deals of the year. Right now, drive the new 2012 RAV4. Ready for winter and just $239 a month. $239. Plus, every Toyota comes standard with Star Safety System and Toyota Care. Nothing tears through the snow like a Toyota. Get to Toyota's all-wheel drive event today. Toyota, let's go places.
You're watching Fox 9 on your side at 9.
Yet another shooting on a United States campus.
This time, shots ring out at a Texas college. Fox News correspondent Casey Stiegel has the latest right now in America.
All of a sudden, I was like, bang, 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 bang.
Chaos at a community college near Houston, Texas.
Once everyone heard the shot, it was a meaning penny of running.
There was a lot of fear on campus. A lot of students tried to run in towards the bookstore.
A fight between two people led to the shooting at the Lone Star College North Harris campus. 4 people total, including both who were involved in the altercation, taken to area hospitals.
The incident was not an active shooter incident, but was an altercation between 2 individuals. There was a maintenance man that was injured and shot due to friendly crossfire. Also, there was another individual at the scene who was transported to the hospital, but we found for medical reasons.
This is the 4th school shooting in the United States since last month's massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary in Connecticut. 3 of those 4 occurring on college campuses. And although guns are not allowed on campuses in Texas, the state legislature may debate a bill that would allow them this year.
We know that there is significant national dialogue regarding the frequency, unfortunately, of shootings like this on public school and college campuses. Though we never expected to be a central part of this discussion, we hope that things can be learned from it.
The 2 people involved in the fight are the only ones being classified persons of interest. Investigators say they are looking for no other suspects. In Harris County, Texas, Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Well, that shooting comes as investigators in New Mexico continue their search for answers after a teen opened fire on his family, killing his parents and 3 siblings.
We have learned tonight that that teen also had a plan to kill more people. Investigators say the 15-year-old wanted to go to a nearby Walmart and attack strangers and then die in a shootout with police. Instead, the teen took his girlfriend to the church where his father had been a pastor before confessing to the killings.
The motive, as articulated by the suspect, was purely that he was frustrated with his mother. He did not articulate that to our investigators any further or give any further explanation of that at all.
Investigators say the teen used 2 guns during the attack, including a semi-automatic rifle. They also say he learned how to use them while shooting with his father.
It's been more than 4 months since the deadly terror attack on the U.S. consulate in Libya.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will answer questions tomorrow about what happened in Benghazi. Fox News correspondent Jennifer Griffin has the latest from the State Department.
Ambassador Stevens' body was missing for nearly 11 hours. U.S. military assets in Europe were alerted but never utilized. And yet the State Department's Accountability Review Board, chaired by Admiral Mike Mullen and Ambassador Thomas Pickering, concluded last month, quote, there simply was not enough time for armed U.S. military assets to have made a difference. That's not what Congressman Jason Chaffetz was told by AFRICOM Commander General Carter Ham when they both traveled to Libya shortly after the attack.
He told me he had proximity, he told me he had the capability, but he was not told to go fight for those people and save those people when the firefight was going on.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will face questions on Capitol Hill Wednesday for the first time about what happened in Benghazi on September 11th.
There was no question at any point in those statements that she considered it her responsibility to learn the lessons from this and to take the department forward in implementing whatever lessons were learned.
Yet at least 2 eyewitnesses who participated in the rescue that night in Benghazi were not offered up by their senior leaders at the CIA and State Department to speak to Mullen and Pickering. And in marked contrast to how the civilian survivors of the Algeria attack have been made available to the press, the administration has not made any of the Benghazi survivors available to congressional members who want to know what happened.
State Department employees that were injured in that firefight, they should be interviewed and talked to by members of Congress. So far, that hasn't happened.
There are many unanswered questions from Benghazi. For one, Fox News has learned from senior U.S. defense officials that the FAST team of Marines out of Rota, Spain, were asked by State Department officials to change out of their Marine uniforms before heading into Libya to help. This required them to deplane and delayed them by about 90 minutes, according to Pentagon officials. Then there is the decision by Secretary of State Clinton and State Department Undersecretary of Management Patrick Kennedy, who was in the Operations Center Center that night, not to send a FEST or Foreign Emergency Support Team, which the State Department's own website describes as the government's only interagency on-call short-notice team poised to respond to terrorist incidents. As a result, the FBI could not enter the complex for 24 days, at which point most evidence was gone.
Secretary Clinton will be asked why more security wasn't provided at the Benghazi mission after the June 6 bombing attack, and why Ambassador Chris Stevens left part of his security team behind in Tripoli. Why the secrecy? At the State Department, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Coming up next on Fox 9, we're headed back to the Weather Center. I wonder if Scott could warm it up, maybe a degree or two, Roland?
Anything would be nice.
Sure.
And now tonight's Pump Patrol. Head to the Fred Meyer on Federal Way to fill up for $2.88 a gallon. And to find the cheapest gas in your neighborhood, go to IdahoOnYourSide.com and click on the Features tab.
Pump Patrol, brought to you by Mountain Home Auto Ranch, where we do business a better way. Exit 95, Mountain Home.
Your best price on every vehicle at MHAutoRanch.com. Ford, Lincoln, Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, and Ram truck, MHAutoRanch.com.
On the next 2.5 Men, Alan's divorce is finally hitting home.
What if she marries him? Even better. If she marries him, you're off the hook for alimony. That is better.
On 2.5 Men.
Weeknights at 10 on Fox 9.
Look, it's Hunt Crusader.
I'm at Natural Grocers, bringing you affordable prices, great customer service, and no artificial additives.
At Natural Grocers, we sell only natural and organic foods.
Natural Grocers and Health Crusader, looking out for you.
It's Peterson Stampede's New Year's sales event. 0% on select new models. No payment for 90 days. And right now, get a new 2012 Ram Heavy Duty for over $14,000 off. Or a new 2013 Ram 1500 starting at an amazing $17,988. Visit Peterson Stampede Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram today.
At Peterson's, it's great service and better prices.
Satisfy your love to drive.
Now at your neighborhood Subway, the Big Hot Pastrami Melt. We've perfected the pastrami sandwich, filled with juicy pastrami, pickles, yellow mustard, and melted cheese. All piled high on freshly baked bread. Taste one at your local Subway today. Subway, eat fresh.
I'm Health Crusader, and every day I take my vitamin D.
Vitamin D helps support a healthy immune system.
Have you guys had your vitamin D today?
Yes!
Natural Grocers and Health Crusader, looking out for you.
Pennywise is, well, a family tradition. My mom bought my first Barbie doll at Pennywise, and my brother got his first baseball mitt there. We got our school supplies there, too. It's a family store, a pharmacy I trust, and it always has everything we need. As kids, we always made a mad dash for the toy department, and today, my grandchildren do the same thing. It really is the family drugstore, and so much more. I love Pennywise. It's a good tradition.
Music Theater of Idaho presents The Taffetas, January 24th through the 26th.
Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
This afternoon, I had the opportunity to visit the 6th graders at Koelsch Elementary School in Boise today. Had a great day talking all about weather, a lot about the inversion and how to build a barometer, as I was doing right here, building a home barometer that they could, use in the classroom to measure the pressure changes and see what happens as we start to get changes in air pressure to help get rid of the inversion. We certainly went over what was the inversion all about, and we went over what causes the rain and snow to fall. How do you get clouds? How do you get precipitation? The basics of meteorology. They were excited, had lots of great questions. Some of those questions, which I'll be sharing with you all week long in my special weather segment. We'll have our first weather question coming in from our Weather Whiz Kids, one of them at Koelsch Elementary School. So hello to all of the 6th graders, if you're still up. Going to get ready for bed here. I'm going to find out, though, if we've got snow in the forecast, and I do have snow in my forecast. I'll show you that in a moment. 3-degree guarantee for the day today. I said it hit 17. We did pop up to 19. Tomorrow, I think we'll hit right around 20 degrees. So still cold, frigid in the morning. It is just brutal out there again with single digits. And that cold, low layer of air, that's where the coldest air is, and that's where all the pollution is being circulated. As we heard about earlier in the show, we're at a 110 in the orange air quality category. Same thing tomorrow, pretty close to it at a 105. Even though we may take the cap off the inversion tomorrow, we're still going to have the pollution still hanging out down low. And it'll take a while, probably up to the weekend, before we can get rid of the inversion once and for all. Current weather, the cold air just settled into the valley. It is 1 in Ontario, 6 in Boise, 4 in Mountain Home, 21 in Stanley right now. I was looking looking at some mountain observations here on Atlanta Summit. 53 degrees today, low to mid-50s in some of the peaks in the Central Mountains. Just amazing, but it is so dry up there that as precipitation comes in from the west, as you moisten up the air, the temperature drops like a rock, and we'll actually have cold enough air to bring snow to those higher elevations that were in the 50s. And in the valley, our temperature will come up a little bit, but I still believe snow is going to come in from the west tomorrow night. Not affecting the day tomorrow, but tomorrow night, Thursday morning could be a pretty nasty morning commute. The potential is there anyway. High clouds now coming in, a little more moisture with the rain showing up along the coast here. It's this dip in the jet stream. It's going to basically take a shot right at this high pressure ridge. So the warm air aloft will go away now as the cooler weather moves in, but we still won't have a lot of surface wind to blow out the inversion, especially Canyon County westward in that lower Treasure Valley where it will stay cold. So the moisture is going to ride right over it, and it's going to dump into. Computers are showing rain in the valley. We may get freezing rain, but we're probably going to get snow in many locations. Could be an inch or two in Ada County. 2 or 3 inches possible in my forecast for the Western Valley if this thing holds together. New computer charts have it pretty moist coming on in, so we'll watch that. Then a break Thursday, Friday, Friday night, Saturday. Another system comes in from the west, and that one too could bring snow to the Treasure Valley. So the Futurecast, a quick check shows that tomorrow afternoon at 6 o'clock we're still dry, but then the precipitation comes in. Some moderate to heavy snow briefly moving through the mountains, and again this rain right here will probably be in the form of snow or freezing rain in the Treasure Valley. You see it at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's then going to move on out. I don't think too much goes on during the day on Thursday, but here's that storm system, dry until nighttime. And then as we have to go through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we dry out before another system comes through during the day on Saturday. So here's the forecast now. Hazy sunshine, low temperatures below zero again, high temperatures 14 to 20. It could get breezy around Mountain Home, and Mountain Home may shoot into the mid-20s, but I have a feeling it's still going to stay below freezing and stay cold. That's my forecast. West Central Mountains, single digits, highs in the 20s and 30s. Afternoon clouds, snow coming in at night, while we still have some hazy sunshine. I've got bright sunshine, but clouds will be increasing here in the mountains, the East Central Mountains, with snow coming in overnight into Thursday morning. Magic Valley, still that brutal cold early on, and a little sunshine will give way quickly to clouds increasing, and then it's likely snow overnight into Thursday morning. My on your side extended forecast, there's the snow and freezing rain tomorrow night, and then on Thursday we'll clear things out after the morning snow showers and possibly a very slick morning commute coming in over the weekend. More snow as possible on Saturday. Temperatures not bombing above freezing, so snow may stick around. Got to show you the photo contest winner for tonight. How about this? SpongeBob.
Nice.
That's about all you can do with the snow. It's just a big block of ice out there, but at least SpongeBob is still happy. Very impressive there. I'd have to take a close look at what's going on. That was sent in by Casey Money, the winner of our contest. You've got an umbrella coming your way. Well, you have to come pick it up, but we'll let you know about that.
And that's going to stick around for the next
until July.
I know,
SpongeBob's a big chunk of.
You know SpongeBob, he doesn't go away. So
yeah, that's true. Thanks, Scott.
Well, after a day filled with ceremonies and parties, the president got back to work today.
And actually a number of issues that he addressed just yesterday, getting some second guesses tonight. Fox News correspondent Ed Henry takes a closer look.
Attending a prayer service today after a long night of celebrating the start of his second term.
Let's stay together.
President Obama woke up to a flood of cheerleading headlines about how he offered an aggressive liberal vision to act on major issues.
We will respond to the threat of climate change, knowing that the failure to do so would betray our children and future generations.
While environmentalists cheered, today at the White House, the backpedaling began.
I don't have any announcements to make about next steps on that issue.
The president is immediately facing pressure on whether he'll keep that declaration on reducing greenhouse gases or his campaign promise to pursue an all-of-the-above energy strategy that could create jobs. After Nebraska Governor Dave Heineman revealed today he's approved a revised route for the Keystone XL oil and gas pipeline to avoid environmentally sensitive areas of his state on its way from Canada down to Texas. Significant because last year, the White House repeatedly fell back on the governor's initial opposition to justify delaying the pipeline.
We only had concerns originally and delayed the process because, or at least in part, because of concerns raised about the original pipeline route by the governor of Nebraska, because of concern by folks in Nebraska, including a Republican governor, about the original proposed route.
After the governor's decision today, the White House punted back to the State Department, which is still reviewing the application.
I don't want to get ahead of that process. When the State Department has something to move forward on. We'll obviously address that issue when it does.
While the president of the American Fuel and Petrochemical Manufacturers Association declared, quote, now is the president's chance to prove to the nation that his all-of-the-above energy strategy is more than just forgotten campaign rhetoric, the executive director of the Sierra Club told Fox News Radio this will be the first big test of the president's new commitment to deal with climate change.
We simply can't effectively reduce emissions and simultaneously increase investments in dirty oil.
One area where the president did not promise much action is on entitlement reform. In fact, all he mentioned about Medicare and other programs is he wants to protect them. So I asked Jay Carney today, where was the call for sacrifice? He noted the president has put reform plans on the table before and may do so again in next month's State of the Union. At the White House, Ed Henry, Fox News.
And coming up next on Fox 9 on your side tonight, how about no? Somebody get Rachel Ray on the phone. Just how extra virgin is that EVOO you're putting on your shopping cart?
Internet just got in a huge shipment. Every 2011 Dodge Journey all-wheel drive SXT at $21,988. Pick your color, pick your payment. Get finance rates as low as 0.99%. Why pay the difference if you can't tell the difference? At Internet Auto Rent and Sales.
Yes, you can do the unthinkable. You can, despite it all, dig deep and find success. Your business can prosper and grow. At Washington Trust Bank, we believe that the unthinkable trumps the economy. That when you have a trusted financial partner that believes in you and has the right tools and loans to back your business, you can achieve the unthinkable. See how Washington Trust helps businesses like MTI at watrust.com/business.
Honey, what are you doing? I thought you were getting your hair cut at Great Clips.
I am. Already checked in.
How?
Their sweet online check-in app. Why wait around there for a haircut when I can work on my bod here? I got a few more minutes. And pump it and squeeze it. Ooh, smile at me.
Introducing the online check-in app from Great Clips. No more waiting around, because now we'll be waiting for you. Great Clips, it's gonna be great.
Internet just got in a huge shipment of 2011 Jeep Liberties, and they're all priced at $18,988. Pick your color, pick your payment. Get finance rates as low as 0.99%. Why pay the difference if you can't tell the difference? At Internet Auto Rent and Sales.
CenturyLink high-speed internet is $19.95 a month for 5 years.
Really?
Really. It won't change for 5 years. There's no term commitment either. Can cable offer that?
5 years? I like that.
Call now and get up to 12 meg consistently fast CenturyLink high-speed internet for just $19.95 a month for 5 years when you bundle with unlimited nationwide calling. Guaranteed. No term commitment. So lock in your price with CenturyLink today.
Valley Office Systems. Now you have a choice. Make the right choice. Valley Office Systems.
Freezing temperatures continue to make life miserable for people all across the valley.
That's right, and while at times it really is just an inconvenience, those extreme temperatures out there definitely can be dangerous, and it's our top story in Fox Fitness right now.
With temperatures so low, it doesn't take long for hypothermia to set in, particularly if you're not bundled up.
About 5 minutes outside today, my ears started to freeze. No mention about the size. Now, some warning signs to keep in mind are shivering and exhaustion, confusion, also fumbling hands, memory loss, and slurred speech.
Hypothermia can really creep in very easily, and that's when your core temperature falls below, let's say, 97, 96 degrees. Once your core temperature begins to get lower than that, you tend to lose a lot of orientation. You get disoriented. You can lose consciousness. You can, a lot of things bad could happen.
I bet.
Yeah, I always used to hear if your lips start turning blue, time to go inside.
I would think so.
No doubt about that. If you're going to be spending any time outdoors in cold weather, one of the best ways to stay warm is wear lots of layers.
That's it. Are you still madly in love with your significant other even years after marriage? Well, you're more likely to be packing on some extra pounds than unhappily married couples. Researchers followed nearly 200 young couples for 4 years after their wedding day. The happier the couple, the more likely they were to gain weight. Less satisfied couples gained less weight. Blame it on a good marriage.
There you go.
I like that one. So they say you are what you eat, right? But how do you know what you're eating if you're not sure what you're buying?
Yeah, sounds confusing. Well, new research suggests some of the food that you're picking up at the grocery store may not be what you think it is. Sandra Endo takes a look at food fraud tonight.
Fish, olive oil, honey, and wine. Items on your grocery list, but you may be buying something else. Experts call it economically motivated adulteration, or simply food fraud.
About 10% of the food you buy on the grocery shelf is probably adulterated.
Meaning it's mislabeled, diluted, or misrepresented. Some of the biggest culprits, fish products.
You think you're getting crab, you're getting fake crab.
Some fish are more expensive than others. If this was labeled grouper, could you tell it's catfish?
Fruit juices.
In some cases, pomegranate juice has been found to be nothing more than water, citric acid, and red food coloring.
Sometimes juice is labeled as fresh squeezed when it's really made from concentrate.
Olive oil.
Experts say 65% of extra virgin olive oil tested at grocery stores is actually diluted with lower grade oil.
Consumers have almost gotten used to this flavor, these off flavors that reflect the defects that you find in bad olive oil.
And honey.
We now have the problem of honey laundering.
That's right, honey laundering, where honey from countries with trade embargoes is shipped through approved countries, then sent to the United States. Expired infant formula and wine are also on the list of fake or mislabeled products.
They got to right the wrong. They're lying to us. You know, that's not right.
I think they should make it more explicit on the label, so a consumer can come in and look and quickly know what they're buying.
Researchers say food fraud costs the U.S. $10 to $15 billion a year, and counterfeiters rake in the cash.
I think the question comes down to enforcement and clear standards, and the U.S. right now has neither.
In the end, just as in any problem with food, if there's a problem, it's the consumer who pays, either a higher price or through illness.
The FDA requires all food labels to accurately indicate what's contained in the food. The agency issues a warning to manufacturers if it finds mislabeled or misrepresented products. The products that do not fall into compliance can ultimately be pulled from the shelves. Sandra Endo, CNN, Washington.
Of course, experts say we should also be careful. If something looks too good to be true, it probably is. If it's cheap, the quality may not be as good, so try to shop for trusted brands.
If it tastes good, I'm happy.
Still ahead on Fox 9 on your side. Say it ain't so. The first lady of pop under scrutiny tonight over her performance. Was it a performance of the Star-Spangled Banner?
Download the free On Your Side news app. Search Idaho On Your Side in your app store.
Furniture Row's 2013 New Year's blowout is almost over. Get this 5-piece group for only $24.98 plus a free 60-inch HD TV. And until January 23rd, get no interest for 5 years. 4 stores, 1 location. Furniture Row.
We began with the RX. Then we turned the page, creating the RX Hybrid. Now, we've turned the page again with the RX F-Sport. This is the next chapter for the RX and Lexus. Lease the all-wheel drive 2013 RX 350 for $449 a month for 36 months with $49.99 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
Hold on to me as we go.
It's time to pursue our dreams. It's time to work, to give it our very all and not give up. American Family Insurance believes your dreams deserve the best protection. That's why we're committed to being there for you every step of the way.
Share your dream for a chance to win a trip to Dream Camp with me.
Let your inner desire direct you to a delectable $1 deal of outright unequivocal delight. Because any size icy cold Coca-Cola, soft drink, or sweet tea is just $1. The simple joy of pursuing happiness.
The
Denver Mattress 2013 New Year's blowout is almost over. Now through January 23rd, get no interest for 5 years and save up to $400 during the Tempur-Ergo Collection Savings Event. Denver Mattress, a Tempur-Pedic elite retailer in the Furniture Row Shopping Center.
You want to guess what the #1 topic was when Scott goes to schools this week?
Yeah, this week it's on everybody's minds.
I know, exactly.
The inversion, what causes it, when will it go away, everything about inversion.
When will it go away? That's what we really care about.
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
And not only adults, but the kids are wondering, hey, you know, this doesn't seem normal. I know I haven't been around as long as some of the adults, most of the adults, but yeah, it doesn't seem normal. It has been very cold, a lot of snow on the ground. Let's take a look at the question here from Koelsch Elementary today.
Hi, my name is Moku. I go to Koelsch Elementary. My question is, what will it take for the inversion to leave us?
Okay, Moku, and there's the picture you were holding up right there. This is the picture he drew. He's talking about the weather here, and you can see the frigid temperature. It says cold here, and still says cold over here. Hoping to get a little bit of a change from this. And so that's the question for Moku. The question is answered by saying, let's get the cold air out of the valley, but we also have to get the warm air away from above, and that's really the difference here. So I want to show you what I've been showing the past few days about the profile of the temperature here in the atmosphere. These lines are indicating it. This is our temperature line right here. This is not normal when you go up into the atmosphere. This is going up into height now. The temperature should be cooling. Here's the 0 line. We should be cooling something like this. But as we go up, it just warms dramatically. And so at the surface this afternoon, we were 12 degrees at 5 o'clock. At 7,700 feet, it was 45 degrees. If you can see that on the edge of your screen, it even down to around 6,000, 6,500 feet. We were still in the 40s here. This is a very thin layer, very cold air, and so our pollution's trapped in this region right here. That's the issue. So I pulled up, we can look at our forecast models looking out into the future, and I looked out 36 hours and pulled up what is similar to this. This is an actual observation of the weather balloon going up, but I want to show you what the image shows of what the forecast would be, and you can see that line. Here's that 0 line right in here, right? Instead of going at 0 Celsius, in other words, the freezing line, instead of it going way out like this, the line goes almost straight up like this. Here's the question right here. See this little line right here? This is above freezing, and that would show that we would have precipitation coming in. This is our dew point line when they're together. This is cloud cover here. This would be rain falling down here, but again, this computer model doesn't know how cold it really is down here, so I think this line is going to be on the other side of 0. We'll be below freezing, and we'll get snow flying by midnight tomorrow night. We'll certainly see it. So that's the plan anyway. As Arctic air begins to move on into the east, we still have the cold air left in the valley here in the west. So that's the answer, Moku. We got to get the cool air out. I think the inversion will go away. We got to get the cold air out of the valley. That doesn't happen till the weekend.
I understand why people are building higher and higher in the foothills, because there are some houses on the way up to Bogus Basin that are above the cloud cover.
Yes, you got to go way up for that, but yes, it can get very pleasant when that happens.
I'm also glad Scott does his job and we don't do his job. Coming up next on Fox 9 on our side.